Welcome to Honeybee Yoga Studio, where we share yoga classes aimed at yogis of all levels, as well as sharing yoga knowledge. So if that sounds like your thing, please hit the red subscribe button below. We release new videos every week. Well, hi yogis, and thanks so much for joining me for another slow and steady flow. Today we'll be doing a moon flow, which will involve lots of movements from side to side and up and down, and hopefully we'll close our practice feeling like $1,000,000. Today we'll be going into half moon and some deep lunges, so if you'd like to grab your yoga block or anything that can act as a block, maybe a thick book, maybe a sturdy cushion, let's grab those if we'd like them, and let's get started. We'll begin our practice on our knees, kneeling with those shins in the earth, sit bones coming towards our heels. Let's let those shoulders stack atop our hips, and let the crown of our head reach up to the sky. Feel that long spine. Maybe with one of your next exhales, you let the lids of your eyes get nice and heavy. Those hands may be resting atop our thighs. And we'll allow ourselves several moments of stillness before we begin our active practice. Let all of your senses come to inside your body, starting to push away the outside world, maybe your work day or commitments that you have once you're done practicing. Let's fill our mind instead with our connection to our breath. Feel your breath as you inhale and exhale, and feel all of those sensations that come with your breath. On one of your next inhales, maybe you start to picture a little light that starts maybe right around your heart. And as you inhale, that light grows and you feel a warmth start to spread across your body. And as you exhale, that light gets nice and small and goes back to your heart. Let's take a few purposefully long and full breaths, maybe visualizing that light as it expands from your heart. And maybe we can take breaths that are deep enough to spread that breath all the way to our fingertips and our toes. Maybe for our final one or two breaths here, we can exhale with an open mouth, letting that breath escape. One of our next inhales will bring some wiggles to our fingertips. Those eyelids will open. Let's take a big inhale and reach those hands up to the sky. Let's take a big stretch here, reaching those fingertips tall. Let's stretch to the right side. Stretch to the left side. And eventually, let's let those fingertips come down towards the earth in front of our knees. Start to walk those hands towards our right heel. Lift that left hand up into the sky. And then as we exhale, that left hand comes back to the earth, and let's walk those hands all the way to the left side. This time, that left hand presses into the earth, right arm reaches. And back to the earth. We're going to continue at our own pace with our breath, moving as slowly as feels good for us. Maybe it feels better as those hands move from one side to the other to not have your fingertips touch the earth. You kind of glide from one side to the other. Whatever feels good for us. Let's take one more full rotation. So a big breath on each side before eventually finding stillness back in our neutral kneeling posture. Once we get here, let's lift up onto those knees, bringing our hips above our knees. Let's extend that right leg to the side, kind of like a kickstand, and inhale our fingertips tall. Now we can stay reaching tall here, or maybe we can start to reach those hands to the right side. Maybe that right hand comes to your right leg for some support, and that gaze comes past our left elbow up to the ceiling. Keep that left hip stacked above our left knee, pressing both hips forward. Let's take another breath in our ballet bridge here. And then on the exhale, we'll bring our gaze and our left hand towards our right foot. We'll then walk those hands across the long edge of our mat until our left hand is in the earth, and we reach that right hand up to the sky. So this might feel familiar from when we were kneeling. We can stay right here. Maybe that right hand stretches all the way to the left side. Maybe that right heel reaches off of the earth. Our right leg parallels the earth. Maybe bring a bend into that right knee. Reach that right arm behind us. Connect with our right foot. If we've made that hand to foot connection, we're pressing that foot into our hand. Wherever we are, let's take one big breath. And then as we exhale, we'll release that foot if we have it. We'll bring both hands back through neutral and tuck that right knee back under our right hip. Moving to the opposite side, we'll extend our left leg long. Once again, fingertips to the sky. This time as we exhale, we'll reach to the left side. So again, we can always stay where we are. Options to modify. Left hand maybe comes to our left leg. Maybe our gaze comes up to the ceiling past that right elbow. And we'll stay in our ballet bridge on our opposite side for another big breath. And when we're ready, that gaze in our right hand comes somewhere in front of that left foot, and we walk those hands along the long edge of our mat until our right hand is somewhere on that right side, left fingertips up to the sky. Once again, we can hang out here, or if we want to reach that left hand all the way to the right side, get that full body stretch. Looking for a challenge, maybe that left leg parallels the earth. Maybe that left knee bends, left arm reaches behind us, connects with our left foot. If we've made that connection, we're pressing that left foot into our left hand. Wherever we are, we feel both of our shoulders stacking one above the other. Maybe that gaze is up to the ceiling. Let's take one last breath. And as we exhale, we'll all make our way back through neutral. Walking those hands back underneath those shoulders so we can tuck in our left knee. And we'll come back up tall. From here, let's inhale our fingertips up to the sky. Let's exhale our hands to come to our low spine. Let's clasp those hands together. Let's start to pull our hands towards our heels. Those hips continue to press forward. Shoulders melt away from our ears. Chin lifts, gaze comes up to the ceiling. And our gentle back bend. Let's wiggle that jaw, make sure we aren't clenching through our mouths. And with our next exhale, we'll release those hands. Let's bring those fingertips all the way to the earth. We're going to tuck those toes underneath our heels. We're going to lift those legs long and walk our feet all the way up to our hands. Keeping those legs long, let's inhale our spine to parallel the earth, halfway lift. And then we'll exhale, melting forward and then unwinding our spines to coming to standing tall. As that chin lifts, let's inhale our fingertips up to the sky. Taking a peek down at those feet, heels under our hips. Let's reach our hands to the right side. This time as we have our crescent side fold, we're pressing that left foot into the earth. Big inhale, feels a little bit different than when we were on our knees. And as we exhale, come through center, and then reach those hands all the way to the left side. That right foot stays heavy in the earth. Taking our moon to the opposite side, all of these crescent moons we're creating today. And then we'll come back through neutral. Let's bring those hands down to our hips. Let's take a peek down at those feet. We're going to press that left foot into the earth. We'll lift our right foot, stepping it all the way back, coming into our tall lunge. Let's inhale those fingertips up to the sky. Make sure our shoulders are melting away from our ears. Shoulder blades melt down our spine. We can stay lifted here, or for the next couple breaths, we can start to reach those hands behind us, chest and heart open in front of us. Gaze comes up to the sky, and we take another back bend. Breathing here. Let's take one more breath. Feel that generous bend in your front left knee. And then as we exhale, let's bring those fingertips all the way to the earth inside of our left foot. Let's start to walk those hands along the long edge of our mat until we come all the way to the back of our mat. Hands are at the inside of that right foot. Let's bring our left knee to the earth. Let's bring our hands up to that right thigh. And we'll hang out here in our low lunge for a few breaths. If you prefer to grab that block or your support, you can bring that close on your left side to give that left hand something to press into. Otherwise, we feel those hips kind of swaying between our knees. Let's take 2 breaths here. Let's release those hands to the inside of our right foot. Tuck those left toes so we can lift up that left knee and step that left foot all the way beside its right partner. Long legs. We'll inhale our spine to parallel the earth, halfway lift. Then exhale to fold forward. Then unwind our spine all the way up to standing. As that chin lifts, let's inhale our fingertips tall and come back to our side bends. So as we inhale, we'll reach our hands to the right side. That left foot stays heavy. One of our next breaths will release us through neutral. And come to the left side. This time that right foot stays heavy in the earth. One more breath here. And then eventually we'll come through neutral and bring those hands back to our hips. This time we'll lift that left knee, stepping all the way back with those left toes. Let's inhale our fingertips high up to the sky. And as we exhale, we sink into that front right knee. Once again, option here to take a gentle back bend. Pulling those fingertips behind you, your chest, your heart opens in front of you. Chin lifts, gaze comes towards the ceiling. And whatever variation we've decided to take, let's hang out here for another big breath. And on our exhale, we'll bring those fingertips to the inside of our right foot. Let's walk those hands one more time along the long edge of our mat. Hands come to the inside of our left foot. That right knee comes to the earth. And let's bring our hands to that left thigh. So again, if you'd like some support for that right hand, we can bring something underneath right now. Otherwise, those hands can come to our thighs, maybe our hips, maybe we want them up high, whatever speaks to you today. And let's take 2 long breaths here. Eventually those hands will come to the inside of that left foot. Let's tuck those back right toes so we can lift that right knee. And let's step our right foot forward. Let's keep those feet wider than hip distance apart. Let's bring a bend into those knees and let's release our head, our shoulders to fall towards the earth. Those hands and fingertips can stay down on our mats, or if we'd like, we can bring opposite hands into opposite elbows. Whatever version of ragdoll you've taken, we're kind of all aiming for the same sensation of our spine kind of being pulled towards the earth. As our tailbone lifts, the weight of our arms and our head pulls our spine in the opposite direction, and we start to feel some space between each of those vertebrae. Let's all take a gentle nod of our head, practice those yeses. More importantly, let's practice our nose. Take a shake, that head side to side. Let's release those fingertips to the earth. Let's heel toe those feet to come hip distance apart beneath us. Keeping those fingertips on the earth, let's step our right foot all the way back. Keep those right heels lifted. Keep our fingertips on the earth. Keep our chest lifted. Generous bend in those left knees. In our active lunge, let's take another full breath. Big inhale and exhale. Now, if you'd like to use a block, now would be a time to grab it as we move into our version of half moon. I'll be cueing with the block, but there's no pressure to use one. I'm going to take my block and place it just to the left of my left foot, just ahead of my left foot, and I'm going to take my left hand atop of my block. I'm going to start to get a little bit of bouncy action in that back right foot, and when I'm ready, I'm going to lift myself forward, lengthen that left leg, and bring my right leg to parallel the earth. Now right here, maybe this is your version of half moon today, and that's fantastic. You can hang out here for a few breaths, or if you'd like, we're going to start to come back to that side opening motion we've been taking today by pressing that left hand into our block and beginning to lift our right hand up to the sky. Keeping tension through that right leg, we're pressing our heel away from us as our toes pull towards our shin. Best that we can, we're lifting that right hand up towards the sky. Maybe that right shoulder starts to stack rather on top of our left shoulder. Maybe that right hip starts to stack on top of our left. Wherever we are, whatever version of half moon our body feels happy in today, we'll take one more breath. And then as we exhale, right hand comes to the earth, right toes come to the earth behind us. Let's walk those hands along the long edge of our mat, but let's stop halfway. Both sets of toes are pointing to the right edge of our practice area. Maybe we wiggle those feet a little wider than they are right now. And we come into our version of a wide-legged forward fold. Hands and arms come under our shoulders. Press those arms long. Big inhale. And let's exhale and melt our bodies towards the earth. Now for you, that might mean walking your fingertips away from your body, walking them in front of you, feeling length through your shoulders, your spine. Maybe for you, that means keeping your arms long. Maybe it means reaching opposite hands to opposite elbows. Maybe you're reaching your hands towards your feet. This is your practice time, your play time, so whatever feels good for your body. I work in front of a computer all day, so what feels good for me is opening through my shoulders, my chest. Wherever we are, let's say hello to our furry little friends. Take one more long breath. Let's feel those hands make their way back into the earth under our shoulder. Press those arms long. And let's start to walk those hands all the way to our right foot at the back of the mat. Coming back into our active lunge. We're keeping a generous bend in that right knee. Fingertips stay on the earth. Left heel is lifted. One more breath here. So coming back into our half moon, I'm going to grab my block and this time place it to the right of my right foot, a little bit ahead. I'm going to take my right hand and place that on my block. Start to get that bouncy action back in that left foot. And then when I'm ready, going to press those toes into the earth so I can lift my left leg to parallel the earth. Both hands are in the earth for support. Now again, right here might be your version of half moon, and that is fantastic. Let's hang out here. If you'd like, we can start to press into that right hand and start to lift our left hand off of the earth. Now as that left hand lifts, we'll start to feel our body open to the left side. So again, that left heel is pressing away from us. We're engaged through our cores. Maybe as that left hand lifts, we feel our left shoulder stacking on top of our right, or left hip stacking atop our right hip. Let's take one more big breath, big inhale. After that exhale, we'll bring our left hand back to the earth if we've lifted it. Those left toes come back to the earth. And one more time, walking those hands along that long edge of our mat. But let's walk them all the way back to our left foot. Have that long right leg behind us. Let's step our left foot all the way back to those right toes. So we're coming into our version of plank, but I promise just for a moment, let's let those knees come to the earth. Tops of our feet come back to the earth. Walk those hands towards our knees, and we'll meet once again in our kneeling posture. If we have a block or a brick, as we come into our version of camel, we can keep that handy so we don't have to reach back to our feet or our shins, but back to our blocks. Let's inhale our fingertips up to the sky and exhale both of our hands to come back to where we might have jean pockets. If we were wearing a pair of jeans, where those pockets would be. As we come into our version of camel, we all might look a little different, but we want the sensations to be the same. Those hands are pressing into our bum cheekers, so our hips both press forward. Our elbows are moving towards each other. Those shoulders are melting away from our ears, our chin is lifted, and we enjoy our back bend. Let's take a big inhale. Then let's exhale back to neutral. We're going to do this one more time and hold on for a little bit longer. Let's inhale our fingertips tall and exhale those fingertips back to those bum cheekers. Now it's up to you if you'd like to release your hand back to maybe that book or that block, or maybe, hello Oliver, or maybe towards your heel or towards your shin, whatever feels best for you. So we can keep those hands right where they are, or we can release them a little bit lower. But again, wherever we are, we're all going for the same sensations. Those hips are pressing forward. Our chest is open, our chin is lifted. We feel space through our hearts. We feel our cats rubbing their faces all over our hands. Must be dinner time. Let's take another big inhale. And then as we exhale, we'll slowly lift tall. Let those sit bones come all the way back to our heels. Let's walk our hands on the earth so we can lay out all the way down onto our bellies. Let's bring our hands to come to stack. Oliver, you are in the way. Good job. Hands to come to stack. Let's bring our forehead or our chin onto those hands. Any pressure we might be feeling in our low spine is hopefully releasing. Let's take one more big breath here. Feel those knees, our feet, our hips heavy in the earth. Let's start to walk our hands so that they come onto our forearms. Our elbows come underneath our shoulders. Let's bend at our knees. Bring those heels towards our bum cheekers. We can go with our right side first. We're going to bend a little bit into our left so we can reach that right hand behind us. Now we can stay here and just stay on half and then do the other half afterwards. Listen to your body, do what feels good. Or if you'd like, you can do both sides at once. If we're going half by half, right about now is when we'll switch to our left side. If we're enjoying the full expression, as well as lots of love from our furry little friends, our hands are pressing into our feet, or rather our feet are pulling our hands away. Oliver, for Pete's sake. Oh, is this gonna make the final cut? Oliver, get out of here, jeez. It's definitely dinner time. Well, if we're on our left side, let's release that left side. If we're holding on to both sides, we'll release both. Coming back to those long legs with our hands stacked, forehead and chin, or chin resting. Taking a couple breaths here. Let's release those arms wide like a T. We're gonna bring a bend into our left knee, so that left sole of our foot lifts up to the sky. We're going to start to press into our left hand so we can peel our left shoulder, left rib cage off of the floor. That left foot is going to start to come behind us, maybe all of the way into the earth. As we come into this generous shoulder stretch, we can keep that left hand on the earth for some balance. Maybe we continue to press into that left hand so we can open more generously into our right shoulder. As always, listening to your body, doing what feels best for you. We'll take one more breath here before slowly rolling back through neutral. Let's bring a bend into that right knee. That left arm is long beside us in a T. Start to walk those right hands closer to us. Start to press and lift that right side body off of the earth. And feel that generous opening on our left shoulder. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly releasing back through neutral. Let's bend through those knees, press through our hands, lifting through tabletop. Let's bring those sit bones to the earth. Send those legs long in front. Let's bring our hands, fingertips towards our sit bones behind us. Press those arms long, lift through our chest. Let's take a few big breaths. Then we'll slowly lower down onto our forearms. Again, a big inhale. And exhale. Before we release all the way to the earth. Let's bring those knees to bend, soles of our feet come into the earth. We'll bring those heels a little bit closer to our sit bones than they may naturally fall. Arms heavy by our sides. Let's take a big inhale. And exhale, press into those heels and lift those hips. Coming into our version of bridge. Feeling a magnetic attraction between those knees. They want to come together. Just like magnets, they can only get together so close, I guess opposing magnets. Let's take a big inhale, those hips lift nice and tall. Then let's exhale back to the earth. On our next exhale, we'll lift one more time. And this time we're going to hang out here for several breaths. We can keep our arms heavy where they are. Maybe those hands start to walk towards each other underneath your sit bones. Maybe your triceps, your shoulder blades start to tuck underneath your spine. Wherever you are in your version of bridge, those hips are lifting, our shoulders are open. Let's give that jaw a little wiggle. Let's take 2 more full breaths before releasing back to the earth. Big inhale and exhale. Another big inhale. And then taking your time, releasing our shoulders, our hands, and eventually our spine all the way back to the earth. Let's hug those knees into our chest. Let's take a rock side to side. And then keeping those knees close, hugged tight. Let's let our knees and our shins fall all the way to one side. We'll open our arms into a wide T. And in our supine twist, we'll let our gaze come away from those knees. As our practice winds down, bringing that awareness back to our breath. Maybe gently scanning our body and feeling any differences we might be feeling now compared to the beginning of our practice. After one more breath, let's start to slowly lift those legs to come to the opposite side. Once again, our gaze may come away from our knees. Get that full rotation through our spine. Hopefully by now, the cadence of our breath, our heartbeat, is back to its soft, natural flow. One more breath will allow us to come back onto our spines, those knees lift. One more hello to Oliver, assuring him he will get dinner soon. And then let's slowly lengthen those legs long into our mats. Our arms go heavy by our sides. And we invite our bodies into our final resting pose. So of course, if there's something else that feels better for your body right now, we will take that shape. Maybe it feels good to throw a pillow underneath our knees or throw a blanket atop our bodies to keep ourselves warm. Whatever we do, letting our bodies come to stillness, to peace. Keeping that connection to our breath. But for the next several minutes, as we enjoy stillness, letting all of those movements that we've taken settle into our body, allow your mind to kind of drift, to kind of wander, and just see where it takes you. let's enjoy about 3 more breaths here. If our minds have wandered off, let's slowly encourage them to wander back. Allow your senses to drop back into your body, back into this space. Feel the earth beneath you. Feel the air on your skin. One of your next inhales, let's bring a wiggle to our fingertips, a wiggle to our toes. Rotation through our wrists, through our ankles. Eventually those knees will bend, soles of our feet will come into the earth. Let's let those knees fall to our favorite side, and we'll tuck into a small little ball on our favorite side. Closing our practice, let's take another breath here before we lift ourselves to come into a seated posture. Nothing fancy, just whatever feels good. Let's bring those fingertips by our sides and take 2 big breaths to close our practice. So let's inhale our fingertips up to the sky. And exhale our fingertips wide and heavy. One more time, big inhale, fingertips coming up to meet in prayer above our heads. And let's melt those hands all the way to our hearts. To end our practice, let's take a bow for ourselves and a bow for our practice. Thank you so much for joining me and Oliver today. Don't worry, he does get dinner after this. I know we're all very concerned about Oliver's mealtime. If you enjoyed today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Again, if you aren't already subscribed, we would love to have you as a subscriber. And until next time, we will see you guys next time.